Hello everyone. In this video, we'll be discussing about chapter 7 lesson 3, which is about factoring any question or any polynomial in the form of x squared plus bx plus c. Now, if you would see, that's a trinomial because we have three terms. So if any polynomial, or you could call as a trinomial, is in the form x squared plus bx plus c, is in that form, how are you going to factorize that? That's what we are going to see. Now, as always, this is going to be an explanation plus practice workbook answers. What I expect is if you would understand how the method on how to solve the questions, you could do any kind of question you have to. So not necessary that you need a video separately for explanation and a video separately for the homework answers. If you would know the method, then the method is the same for all. The numbers will be different, right? So to get started here, I have, again, you could see it's in the same form, x squared plus bx plus c. Now the term b is 7 and the term c is 10. You could see all the questions are in the similar form. So term b is going to be, the value of b is 7 and the value of c term is 10. Now, how are you going to factorize this? You could use this method for factorizing all kinds of questions, or all kind of polynomials rather. Now, what are you going to do? First, what you're going to do is, and now here you know that there is a coefficient of 1, right? Because there is no number means it's going to be a coefficient of 1. Now keep in mind this method will be suitable for all the kinds of factorization, whether it is a trinomial, whether it's a polynomial, you could factorize it in any way. Now what we are going to do is just think that there is not think that there is a coefficient of 1 here. So if you would multiply the 1 with the coefficient of 1 with c, so you would get a 10. So always remember, you need to multiply the term here. That's in the next lesson you will learn what is that term. For now, just remember that there is a coefficient of 1. 1 multiplied 10 would give you a 10. Now what am I going to do with this 10? I am going to write down all the factors of 10. I hope you know what are the factors, right? The two numbers which will multiply. So the two numbers with which I multiply, if I would multiply, I would get a 10, is always start with 1. So 1 multiplied 10 is a 10, right? Then next is in the table of 2. That's 2 multiply 5 is going to give you a 10. Then again, there is no 10 in the table of 3. There is no 10 in the table of 4. But there is 10 in the table of 5. So that's like 5 multiplied 2 is 10. But already we've got the factors here, 5, 2 or 2, 5. It means the same. So once the factors getting repeated, we just stop there. So the factors of 10 are 1, 10 and 2 and 5. These are the pairs of factors. Now from these two factors, I need to choose a number. I need to choose the pair of factors which would give me a 7 if I would add. So which pair of factors would give you a 7 if you would add 1 plus 10? Would that give me a 7? No. Right? Now if I would add 1 plus 10, that's not going to give me a 7. So this is not a pair of factor. If I would subtract, do you think if I would subtract 10 from 1, that's going to give me a 7? Of course not. So this pair of factors would not work. So that means it leaves me with this. So what do you think? 2, if I would add this 2, is that going to give me a positive 7? 2 plus 5 is going to give me a positive 7? Yes, it is. So how am I going to factorize this? As simple as that. Now we know that there is a coefficient of 1. So we are simply going to write these two factors as x plus 2 and x plus 5. That's it. This is your factorization for this trinomial. So what you're going to do, you're going to find the factors of C, the term C, which would give you the term B if you would add. So that's only 2 plus 5. So we have to just separate and write them as x plus 2 and x plus 5. Now I would like to give you a quick review here. Why are we, now if you're not sure why are we doing this, look at this. If you would multiply x plus 2 with x plus 5, we need to get the question, which is the trinomial. We have to get this trinomial. Let's check if we are getting that. 5 multiplied by 2 is going to give me a 10. a positive 10. A 5 multiplied by x is going to give me a positive 5x. Now, do not forget to add the 0. This is what always we do even when we are multiplying numbers. So x multiplied by 2 is going to give me a positive 2x. And x multiplied by x is going to give me an x square. So which means, now if you would add this, it's going to give you an x square plus 7x plus 10. So which means this is the question which you've got, which is the trinomial which is in the question, which means your factorization is correct as well. Now this is one method, this is the way to check whether your factorization is correct or not. So if you would have time during a quiz or an exam, you could definitely go ahead, or sometimes you might feel you have a doubt like, is my factorization right? So simply multiply and find out whether you are getting the same trinomial as in the question. Right, let's move to question number 2. Now, always find the factors for the C term. So we have the C term as 8. So we are going to find the factors of 8. So what are the factors of 8? We have 1 multiply 8 gives us 8. And then 2 multiply 4 gives us 8. Right? And then 3, table of 3 doesn't have an 8. Table of 4 has an 8, so 4 multiply 2, but then again it's repeated. So we do not consider that. We have just 2 factors here. I mean 2 pair of factors, 1 multiply 8 and 2 multiply by 4, right? Now using these 2 factors, I need to find the pair of factors which would give me a positive 9 if I would add or subtract. So what do you think? Which one do you think? So first let's take the first pair of factors, that's 1 and 8. I need to arrange 1 and 8 in such a way that I get a 9. So do you think if I would add both the numbers, I would get a positive 9? Yes, I do. So which means I'm only going to work with this pair of factors. So how am I going to write the factorization for this? It's x plus 1 and x plus 8. Simple as that. So we could not do anything with the 2 and 4, because if I would arrange 2 and 4, there is no way I'm going to get a 9. If I would add 2 plus 4, that's going to give me a 6, not a 9. So it's wrong. If I would even subtract 4 minus 2, that's going to give me a 2, not a 9. So all what you need to do is you need to find the factors of C, with which if you would add, you would get add or subtract or arrange them, rearrange them, you need to get a positive 9. Now Bill, you could go ahead and check whether you get your answer, that is the factorization, is correct or not by using this method, or you could even use the FOIL method for multiplying these two factors, two factors. Right, so let's move to this question. Now which factor are we, which number are we going to find the factors for? Definitely for C, so which is 36. So what are the factors of 36? Always start with the table of 1. So 1 multiplied 36 is going to give me 36. 2 multiplied by 18 is going to give me 36. 3 multiplied by 12 is going to give me 36. Then again 4 multiplying 9 is going to give me 36. How about 5? Is there 36 in the table of 5? No, so I'm not going to use 5. How about 6? Yes, 6 are 36. 7 fours are 20. 7, there is nothing. 8, there is nothing. 8, there is no 36 in the table of 8. And how about 9? Yes, 9 fours are 36, but then already we have written the pair of factors. So that means that's going to be the end of factors for 36. Once it gets started getting repeated, that means it's going to be the end of that. Right. So now let's search for a pair of factors from this. Now you could see there are 5 pairs of factors, right? So which factor do you think would give me a 13 if I would rearrange it? So 136, do you think that would give me a 36 if I would add or subtract 1 and 36? Nothing. So we rule that out. How about 2 plus 18? 2 plus 18 will give me a 20. 2 minus 18 would give me a negative 16. Or 18 minus 2 will give me a negative 16. So not this, because we need a positive 13. How about this? 3 plus 12 is 15. 12 minus 3 is 9. So neither this. How about 4 plus 9? 4 plus 9, yes, it's going to give me a 13. So that means I'm going to choose this factor, because 6 plus 6 is going to give me a 12, not a 13. So it's 4 plus 9. Simply, it's going to be x plus 4 and x plus 9. You could again multiply and check whether you are getting this trinomial. If you have got that, means your factorization is a perfect one. Right, let's move ahead and check whether we could do some more questions. So again, let me separate this. Now always remember to keep your work neat and clean so that if you would have any mistakes, you can simply go ahead and check from that particular step. So it's always important to keep your work neat and clean. Okay, so question number 4. I'm going to find the factors of which number of the term C, which means for 14, right? So what are the factors of 14? I have 114. 2 multiplies 7 gives me a 14. What else gives us a 14? Nothing else. Again, 7 multiplied 2 gives us a 14. So already we have written it here, right? So now you need to choose among these two, which pair of factors would give you a 9 if you would add or subtract. So definitely not 1 and 14, because 1 plus 14 will give me a 15. And again, if I would even subtract 14 from 1, that's going to give me a 13. Even if I would rearrange it in this way, that's still not going to give me a 9. So definitely not this and not this. So the only one left is 2 and 7. So if I would add 2 plus 7, is that going to give me a positive 9? Yes, it will. So which means it's going to be x plus 2 and x plus 7. This is the factorization for this. So similarly here again, we are going to find the factors of 12. And what are the factors of 12? We have 112, 2 multiplied 6, and 3 multiplied by 4, and 4 multiplied by 3. So that means it's basically getting repeated. 4 3s and 6 2s are getting repeated. So now I don't think I need to be writing all the possibilities for you. You could simply look at it and guess which pair of factor is going to give you a 7. Not 1 and 2, 12 definitely, because 1 plus 12 is 13, 12 minus 1 is 11. Now that 2 plus 6 is 8. 6 minus 2 is 4, but we need a positive 7. So which means it's going to be this pair of factors. How? Because when we add 3 plus 4, that's going to give us a 7. So how are you going to write the factorization? X plus 3 and x plus 4. This is going to be the factorization. So similarly here, now 18, the factors of 18 are going to be 118, 2 9, and 3 6. Okay, so the factors, which pair of factors would give me a positive 9? Is it 1 and 18? 1 plus 18 is 19, and 18 minus 1 is 17, so not this. 2 plus 9 is 11, 9 minus 2 is 7, so not this, because we need a 9. So which means it's going to be 3 plus 6, because 3 plus 6 is going to give you a positive 9. So it can be x plus 3 and x plus 6. Now you might be wondering whether if you could write x plus 6, x plus 3. Yes, you can. The order doesn't matter, but the factors matter. So even you could write x plus 6 and x plus 3. There will be no problem at all. Right. Now, if you would notice, this is all about plus, 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 because we are going to do x. We were learning about x squared plus bx plus c. Now, what if you've got x squared minus bx plus c? We will see what would happen here. Now, the factorization process is going to be the same. You're going to find the factors of c, which would give you the, which if you would add or subtract, will give you the value of b, right? So let's find the factors of 18 first. So the factors of 18 are, already we have written, right? So it's 118, 2 9, 3 6, and nothing else, because again there is no 18 in the table of 4 and there is no 18 in the table of 5, so it's 6 3, so which is repeated again, right? So let's check which pair of factors would give us a negative 9, because now there is a negative sign here, so we need a negative 9. So do you think if I would arrange 1 plus 18, that's going to give me a 9, negative 9? definitely not. There's a positive 19. Now, even if I would arrange 18 minus 1, that's going to give me a 17. So not this, definitely not this, right? So we rule this pair of factor out. How about 2 and 9? If I would arrange 2 and 9, 2 plus 9, what are the possibilities of arranging this? It could be the 2 plus 9 or 9 plus 2, or it can be minus 2 plus 9 or minus 9 plus 2. This is the only 4 ways we could arrange these two factors. So is this going to give me a negative 9? No. Is this going to give me a negative 9? No. Is this going to give me a negative 9? No, because minus 2 plus 9 is going to give you a positive 7. How about minus 9 plus 2? That's going to give you a negative 7. So not this as well. So we rule that out too. Now I'm just showing you to write all the factors so that you will know what are the possibilities and how to get the possibility, right? So the only pair of factors which is left out now is 3 plus 6, 3 and 6. So let me see if I would add 3 plus 6. Would that give me a negative 9? No, that's going to give me a positive 9 because both of them are positive. If I would write negative 3 plus 6, is that going to give me a negative 9? No, because this is going to give me a positive 3. How about if I would change this to negative 6 and positive 3? Is this going to give me a positive 9? No, because the answer for this is negative 3. How about if I make both of them negatives, negative 6, negative 3? Is this going to give me a negative 9? Yes, sure it does. So which means we are going to use this particular factor to write the factorization. So this is going to be x minus 6 and x minus 3. Now, if you would notice here, when we had all of them as plus, the factorization was also to be plus, right? All of them were plus, x plus 3, x plus 6. That's because all the factors are positive here. But here, when one of the factor becomes a negative one, what happens is both the factorization is going to be negatives. So this is a quick tip you could follow, keep in mind, so that when you have a negative sign with the b value of b, you will know that your factorization needs to be in negative form. Right, let's try this thing out. So we are going to find the factors of 4, right? Okay, so the factors of 4 are going to be 1, 4, 2, 2, and anything else? There are no more factors of 4. It's only 1, 4, and 2, 2. Right, so which pair of factors do you think would give me a negative 5 if I would arrange them? Do you think 2, 2 is going to give you a negative 5 if you would arrange it in any way? Because 2 plus 2 is 4, 2 minus 2 is 0, minus 2 minus 2 is going to give you a negative 4. So definitely not this pair of factors. It's only going to work with 1 and 4, this one. So what is that going to be? So let's see. How could I arrange 1 and 4 in such a way to get a negative 5? So definitely if I would get a negative 5, that means this is not possible. Please. So this is not going to be possible. This is not going to give me a negative 5, right? So this is not possible. And how about this one? What if it was a negative 4 and a positive 1? Is this going to give me a negative 5? No, because the answer for this is going to be a negative 3. How about if I would make both of them as negatives? Is that going to give me a negative 4? Yes, it does. So the factorization is going to be x minus 1 and x minus 4. That's because the b term is negative here. That's why the factorization has become negative as well. Right, so for the next question here again, you're going to find the factors of 20, which would give you a negative 9. So the first step is to find the factors of 20. So the factors of 20 are 120, 210, 4, 5, and that's it, because 5 4s gets repeated. So that means it's going to be 4 and 5. So which factors do you think is going to give you a negative 9? By now, by practice, you definitely know it's not going to be 120, 1 and 20. It's neither going to be 2 and 10, because however I arrange it, it's either going to give me a 12 and 8 only. So we need a negative 9. So that means it leaves us with 4, 5. So by doing these two questions, you would have realized that both the terms need to be negative to get a negative number. This is the rule, right? If you have two negative numbers, you add the numbers, but then you keep the sign the same. So which means it's going to be x minus 4 and x minus 5. Now, if you would look at your page, there are numerous questions. There are a lot of questions which you need to solve. So you will do the same method. Now, I've already explained 9 questions to you. So in the next slide, you could just pause the video and check your answers, but do them in the proper way and then check your answers to check if the answers are right. Because if I would start explaining all these questions, definitely it's going to be a video for more than an hour. So I don't want that. So here are the answers for question number 10 to 24. You're going to follow the same method of solving. You could pause the video here and then you could check the answer. Right, now if you would have checked those answers, this is question number 25. Now what are they asking you to do here? They are asking you to factor n squared plus 5n minus 24. And then first let's do what they want. Okay, so let's factorize this. So let's factor n squared plus 5n minus 24. Right, now we are going to find the factors of negative 24. Okay, so first let's write down the factors of 24. That's better. So the factors of 24 are going to be 124, okay, then 212 and 38, 4, 6. So these are the 4 pair of factors for 24 because there are no other factors, right? So now from this pair of factors, we are going to choose a pair of factors which would give me a positive 5. So which pair of factors do you think would give me a positive 5? So it should be for negative 24 as well as it should give me a positive 5. So which one do you think? Definitely by like using your knowledge, you could say not this. There is no way this could give me a positive 5. Neither this, because no way we could arrange this and get a positive 5. So the one left is 3 plus 8, not 4 plus 4 and 6, because 4 plus 6 will give you a 10 and 6 minus 4 is going to give you a 2, but not a 5. So not this. So what we are left with is 3 and 8. Now, I am going to arrange this in such a way that I need to get a positive 5 as well as a negative 24. So to get a positive 5, I could say it could be 8 minus 3, right? Because only then I could, if the 8 is a positive number, then I could get a positive answer. So I could say it's going to be negative 3 plus 8. So that will give me a 5, positive 5. Now, do you think if we would multiply 8 with negative 3, that's going to give you a negative 24? Yes, that will, because that's the rule. So which means we are going to use this as our factorization. So the factorization for this is going to be x plus 8, x minus 3. So we have done our factorization. Now what's the next thing you're going to do? Show that the original polynomial and the factored term describe the same sequence of numbers for n is equal to 0, n is equal to 1, 2, 3, and 4. Nothing. They're just asking you to say that substitute the value which they have given, that's n is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and show that without factorizing also the answer is going to be the same. Even after you factorize, the answer is going to be the same. So what did we get after factorization here? For factorization, we got x plus 8 and x minus 3. So all what you're going to do is substitute the value of n here. Well, that was not an n, that's not an x, that's an n. Well, I keep doing this mistake because mostly we use x's. So this is going to be n plus 8, n minus 3. So this is going to be n plus 8 and minus 3, right? So not an x. So here we are going to write the values 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means we are just going to write 0 in place of n. So 0 squared plus 5 multiplied by 0 minus 24. How much is this going to give you? This is going to give you 0. 0 squared is 0. 5 multiplied 0 is 0. So 0 plus 0 is 0. And then 0 minus 24 is going to give you a negative 24. You could do this mentally, totally, because these are basic algebra equations you're solving, expressions. So the next one, you're going to substitute here in this place, because here when n was 0, we got a negative 24. Let's check whether it's true for this as well. So this is going to be 0 plus 8, because I'm substituting 0 in place of n, and then 0 minus 3. Okay, now already we have done a lesson where we are multiplying these kinds of factors, right? So 0 plus 8 is going to give you 8, and 0 minus 3 is going to give you a negative 3. So 8 multiplied by negative 3 is going to give you a negative 24 as well, which means even after factorizing, the answer is the same for the values. Even without factorizing for the trinomial, the answer is going to be the same. So similarly, you're going to follow the same thing for all the values which they have given. Right, let's do this. If you would find it difficult, let me write it separately here. But by now you need to do this mentally. So 1 square is 1. 5 multiply 1 is 5 minus 24. Right? So 1 plus 5 is 6. So 6 minus 24 is going to give you a negative 18. So the answer for this is a negative 18. Now, if I would do that here, 1 plus 8 and 1 minus 3. So 1 plus 8 is 9, right? So 1 minus 3 is going to give you a negative 2. So 9 multiplied by negative 2 is going to give you negative 18. So which means the answers are the same. Similarly, it's a pattern you are following, so you need to do that for all the numbers. So again, this is going to be 2 square is going to be 4, and 5 multiplied 10 is going to give you, 5 multiplied 2 is going to give you a 10. So let me write it down here. 2 square plus 5 to the 5 multiplied by 2 minus 24. So 2 square is 4. 5 2 are going to give me 10, negative 24. So 4 plus 10 is 14. 14 minus 24 is going to give you negative, how much? Going to be a negative 10. So this is going to give you a negative 10. Let's check with the factorization. If I would have had the same factorization, is that going to give me the same answer? 2 plus 8 is 10. 2 minus 3 is a negative 1. So 10 multiplied negative 1 is going to give you a negative 10. Similarly, we will do that for all the remaining numbers. I hope I do not need to explain each step here. 3 square is 9. Then 5 multiplied 3 is 15. 9 plus 15 is going to give you a 24. 24 minus 24 is going to get you a 0. All right. So similarly here, 3 plus 8 and 3 minus 3. Okay, so this is going to give you an 11, and 3 minus 3 is going to give you a 0. So 11 multiplied by 0 is going to give you a 0 also, right? So the same next thing is the last one is 4 squared plus 5 multiplied by 4 minus 24. So that's going to give you 4 4s are 16 plus 20. So 16 plus 20 is 36. 36 minus 24 is going to give you a 12. Let's check whether that's true. 4 plus 8, 4 minus 3. So 4 plus 8 is 12. 4 minus 3 is 1. 12 multiplied 1 is 12. So simply nothing, but they are just asking you to factorize the trinomial and then find out if for the values which are given, the answers are same with factorization and without factorization. So that was all the lesson. Hopefully you have got the answers right. If you got the answers right, do like this video, right? And till we meet again in another one, keep